Prey is a real mix of great ideas and a lot of inconsistencies, but even with its highs and lows, it knows how to keep you entertained through its 15-hour long campaign. Hi, I'm Tom, and this is Prey. Prey is a new project from the developers over at Arcane Studios, the creators of our beloved Dishonored franchise, which Prey coincidentally reminds me a lot about, from the way the UI looks to the way the entire game feels. That's not a bad thing though, seeing that Dishonored was an extremely enjoyable and interesting game to play, but sadly not all of those characteristics transferred to this game. Let's dive in. Prey has you playing as Morgan Yu, a CEO of a research space station that has been overrun with aliens, and who, due to circumstances, has memory loss, so the game can explain everything to you in a steady pace. And it needs to, because man, there's a lot to cover here. From aliens to superhuman upgrades to cool science weapons to space flight, and of course the overall story arc. But let's start with the aliens, and more specifically mimics. They are the first enemies you encounter and they can morph into any object that's not larger than a chair. The copies are identical to the object they transformed from, but they will always be close to that object. So it's easy to identify when there's two chairs behind a desk, because why would there be two chairs behind a desk? Just pretend that you're Chris Brown and that there are two Rihannas over there, just hit them both. But when there are 5 mugs on a table, and the room is as dark as your average black hole, the paranoia starts to kick in. Because there is no way you're going to waste all your ammo trying to find an alien that might not even be here. Or is it? And that's the beauty of mimics. Now, on the complete other end of the scale you have the nightmares. And no, I don't mean the ones where you're forced to binge watch every episode of Living with the Kardashians. I'm talking about the 20 feet tall bastards that come after you every so often, try to suck your soul out and crush your body in the progress. Now that I think about it, that is like watching Living with the Kardashians. Just be sure to always have some healing or abilities ready, because these fuckers don't go down easy, and even though they are 20 feet tall, they can still shapeshift through smaller doors, so running away from them isn't always the best option either. To kill these aliens, you need of course weapons, and luckily for you there's some cool ones here, like the glue gun. It allows you to stick enemies in place or to create platforms for you to walk on, which allows you also to parkour your way through the entire space station into hidden areas. Or the Q-beam, which deals no initial damage, but when shot for long enough it will just blow up whatever it was shooting at. There are some others as well, but my favorite is still the shotgun, by far. The way it is designed and the sound it makes when you pump it after shooting it is just amazing. Perfect. The neuromods, which are basically skill points, are awesome as well, because they allow you to upgrade yourself with the same abilities the aliens have, like becoming a cup yourself and shrinking down to pass barriers or to sneak by enemies. It is truly genius, but I don't want to spoil all of them for you, so I'm gonna leave that be for now, because we need to start talking about the negatives of this game. I would say that Prey's biggest weakness is its inconsistencies, because for every cool thing Prey does, it has a lot of average or bad things as well. The mimics, for instance, are one of the best enemies I've come across in any game ever. But after a couple of hours of playtime, the enemies become stronger and more plain and boring. You just come across more and more enemies that just stand there and want to shoot energy balls at you. It leaves you with a bad taste in the mouth, because the initial scary moments with paranoia rarely happen after the 5-hour mark, at least in my play sessions. The same inconsistencies can be found with the music. The game can't decide if it wants to be all scary and atmospheric, or if it wants to be a real shooter with electronic beats in the background. And the fact that the scary and atmospheric parts in the beginning are done so well, it annoys me to see that when I progressed through the game, I only became more annoyed by the lack of the dark hallways and the uncertainty of the aliens' whereabouts. And trust me, I'm a little bitch when it comes to scary shit. And while we're on the topic of inconsistencies, the story is inconsistent as well. There are some parts that have you questioning yourself and force you to make hard decisions, but those came after hours of walking loading screens, which are plentiful and take ages to finish by the way, and doing some boring side fetch quests that have little to no reward. But then there's also the ending of the game, which is the rotten cherry on top, because I was not satisfied with the one I had, but I found out that there was indeed multiple endings, so I looked them all up, but came to the conclusion that they were all slight variations of a yes or no question. Again, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I'm giving you a buyer's beware. The ending, in my opinion, is bad. A couple of days ago I tried to explain to a roommate of mine what Prey was like. I told him that it was like very average sex. Just bear with me. You will enjoy it for what it is. You will happily do it again. But it most certainly could have gone a lot better. There were parts that just went too slow, or the background music was not right for what you were doing. But in the end you still find that it was worth the time and effort you put in. So that's why I'm giving it the 6 treatment. If you can split the price with a friend, I think you will love this game a lot more. But even if you don't, it is not the worst thing to buy right now. The game had way too many inconsistencies for me to truly enjoy it though. But even then, I'll say that Prey is still worth the money.